Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
Tonight, on First at 9 this Friday, the 10th of January 2025. The Port of Hope, 3 million tourists in 2025 and $5 billion in tourism revenue, aspires the tourism minister. Sri Lanka inaugurates Port City's marina development project targeting high net worth tourists. The rice race. Deadline to import rice at midnight tonight. Sri Lanka Customs clears 127,000 tons of rice as of today, while the public still claims shortage. Idling imports. Nearly 1,000 container trucks stranded at the Colombo port over delays in customs clearance. Trade unions warn of a possible rise in prices of imported goods. The broader vision. Cleanup's only a small part of the Clean Sri Lanka initiative, claims top official attached to the president's office. Chief Government Whip meanwhile denies claims of a 7 million rupee Clean Sri Lanka inauguration event.
Chilo Dairy, Sri Lankawama Kiren Perata. ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දිනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
කණ්ඩ පරිස්සම් කරගත්තොත්
අපි පරිස්සම්.
Asian Paints Causeway Aquasafe. Vässat mattuig gederat Disney.
This is Ada Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Ada Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Singha joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Brought to you by the only Sri Lankan media network to rise to the pinnacle across all media platforms, recognized as the best by every survey and beloved by the people. Now in your top story tonight, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, Vijitha Herath says that the government plans to attract 3 million tourists to Sri Lanka in 2025 with a view to generate $5 billion in revenue through the tourism sector. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Marina Development Project at Port City, Colombo, the Foreign Minister highlighted the marina's potential of aiding this goal by attracting high net worth tourists to the island. Speaking at the same event, Chairman of the Port City Economic Commission, President's Council Harsha Amarasekara, emphasized that upon completion, the marina would position Sri Lanka as a key player in South Asia's yachting landscape due to it being the only marina between Dubai and Phuket.
The groundbreaking ceremony of the Marina Development Project at Port City, Colombo was held today under the patronage of Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath. The event also saw the participation of Chinese Ambassador to Sri Lanka Chi Zhenhong. With the capacity to harbour 243 marine vessels, the marina is a joint initiative between China Harbour and Engineering Corporation, Port City Colombo Limited, Browns Investments PLC and LOLC Holdings PLC.
This historic and landmark event will commence the construction aspect of Sri Lanka's largest public-private sector infrastructure project. The development will include a luxury marina, high-end accommodation, banquet halls and allied facilities. The marina, which is also aimed at making Colombo a hub for luxury maritime activities, will also for the first time earmark Sri Lanka as a destination for this category of tourism, attracting high net worth tourists. It's equally noteworthy that the marina situated at the Colombo Port City will be the only full-service marina between Dubai and Phuket, and thus would be strategically positioned on the growing luxury yacht market and also position Sri Lanka as a key player in the South Asian luxury yachting landscape.
This project is consistent with government's policy, which focuses on sustainable development, inclusive growth and creating opportunities for all Sri Lankans. Guided by our political mandate to ensure inclusivity, prosperity and equity, we are dedicated to fostering projects that uplift the nation and its people. Beyond its immediate economic impact, This project aligns with our broader tourism goals. It also underscores our dedication to job creation, skill development, and sustainable growth, offering opportunities for local talent in hospitality, tourism, and related sectors. For 2025, we envisage 3 million visitors, which would generate $5 billion in revenue, a goal which is critical to our economic recovery. As envisioned by His Excellency the President, for a comprehensive socio-economic transformation, we will work to ensure that Sri Lanka will emerge as a thriving nation and secure a beautiful life for its people. Together, we will transform Port City Colombo into a global hub innovation, luxury and economic opportunity. The luxury marina development is more than a project. It is a statement to the world that Sri Lanka is open, ready, and is taking its rightful place on the global stage.
The Department of Development Finance today announced a concessionally pledged loan scheme for small and medium-scale paddy millers and cooperative societies to purchase paddy for the Maha season. Accordingly, the target group of this loan scheme, the small and medium-scale paddy millers and cooperative societies, are subject to a maximum daily paddy milling capacity of 25 metric tons per day. Millers are able to obtain loans amounting up to 50 million rupees at an interest rate of 7% per annum. The respective loan should be repaid within a span of 180 days. Borrowers are required to have a valid business registration obtained from a relevant government institution. Thereby, the Department of Development Finance noted that funds totaling 10 billion rupees have been allocated to facilitate the loan scheme for millers.
Union Assurance.
Welcome to Cinnamon Life, South Asia's biggest entertainment hub, where awe awaits.
Sadaharita Plantations Limited, celebrating 22 years of your trust.
Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
Now on the matter of rice, with Thai Pongal festivities just around the corner, public outrage continues to escalate over the lack of adequate stocks of rice in the market. Several stakeholders in the industry, along with consumers, voiced their grievances in this regard, while the customs has already cleared 127,000 metric tons of rice since the 4th of December last year. The deadline for the private sector importers to import rice stocks is set to expire at midnight tonight. Meanwhile, addressing matters pertaining to a recent uncovered rice import record, Customs Media spokesperson and Additional Director General of Sri Lanka Customs, Sivali Aruguda, claims that necessary actions will be taken in that regard.
In response to the shortage of rice in the market, the government decided to permit the private sector to import rice. Consequently, the Sri Lanka Customs cleared 127,000 metric tons since the 4th of December. The clearance includes 50,000 metric tons of raw rice and 77,000 metric tons of nadu rice. Meanwhile, the State Trading Corporation has also imported 4,900 metric tons of rice so far. However, according to the tender issued, the State Trading Corporation is yet to import 26,300 metric tons of nadu rice. Despite the import of huge quantities of rice, public outrage continues to escalate over the lack of rice in the market, particularly considering the Thai Pongal festivities slated to take place this month. Against this backdrop, the deadline granted for the private sector to import rice stocks is set to expire at midnight tonight.
Two ships carrying around 8,000 metric tons of rice have arrived at the Colombo port. However, with the deadline fixed for rice imports expiring at midnight tonight, importers have raised concern over the possibility of entering import data into customs information systems to obtain imported rice stocks. We will hold discussions with the necessary authorities and announce a decision on the matter.
Meanwhile, a racket involving the fraudulent exploitation of the rice import permit was recently uncovered amidst growing public concern regarding such frauds. Investigating authorities claim that certain importers import a certain type of rice closely resembling basmati at a considerably lower cost. These particular stocks are subsequently marked up in price and sold as basmati rice. Customs Media spokesperson Sivali Aruguda stressed on the need to conduct tests on such consignments of rice being imported to Sri Lanka.
මේ වන විට අනයන බහලුම් 40කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන්
We have launched a special investigation over approximately 40 consignments of imported rice. We will obtain samples from such consignments and send them over to the Rice Research and Development Institute of the Department of Agriculture. We see that on certain occasions, white long grain rice is labelled basmati rice and sold to consumers. That is not basmati. However, this long grain rice is misrepresented in the market as basmati due to similarities between the two types of rice. Customs charges around 400 rupees per kilogram of basmati rice as tariffs. Meanwhile, a tariff of only 65 rupees is levied against a kilo of all other types of rice.
අනිත් සහල් වලට අය කරන්නේ රුපියල් 65ක් පමණයි කිලෝග්‍රෑම් එකකට.
Now, in other updates surrounding Sri Lanka customs, concerns have been raised over a possible shortage of imported goods in the market, along with a rise in prices of such goods due to persistent delays in container clearance by Sri Lanka Customs at the port premises in Colombo. However, Sri Lanka Customs vows to quickly resolve the matter and clear up the remaining containers promptly.
During the past few days, long queues of container trucks were seen at the customs terminal in Orugodawatta over issues pertaining to the clearance of imported containers. Container truck drivers claim that around 1,800 to 2,000 containers were dispatched daily a year ago, while only 900 to 1,100 containers are being dispatched per day at the moment. According to such drivers, the delay in cargo clearance has prompted several other issues affecting their trade and lives. Speaking at a recent media briefing, the Container Transport Owners Association revealed that container trucks remain stranded at the port due to the delays in clearance.
Around 800 to 1,000 container trucks loaded with imported goods have been stranded within the port premises for several days. Trucks have to remain idle for about a week after it is loaded with cargo. The former directors of the Sri Lanka Customs, along with other officials, took necessary actions and managed to clear off stocks promptly. The present management is not executing its responsibility properly. Since imported goods are held within the port premises for many weeks, we are also liable to pay delay costs. If this issue is not resolved, a shortage of goods could arise within the market and prices could substantially increase. An earnest request is made, especially from the President, to address this matter swiftly.
Against this backdrop, Sri Lanka Customs vowed to address the issue and promptly clear the remaining containers.
We inspect these containers to curb smuggling and to collect the tariffs due. We are currently taking only a minimum amount of containers for inspection. The delay in clearance has been caused due to the lack of space at the premises. However, in order to swiftly clear all containers, we will work through the weekends and holidays as well.
Fast track your career from O levels with eSoft.
ඩයිබටිසෝල් සීනි වලින් පරිස්සම් වන ඔබට අමතක නොවන පෝෂණය.
ප්‍රයිම් ගෲප් ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට හඳුන්වා දෙන ලෑන්ඩ් ලීසින් ලේසියෙන් මීටමක්.
Single 1111 up to 60% off from the 11th November to the 17th of November.
Kalani wire කිසිගින්නක් නැහැ.
කිසිගින්නක් නැහැ. Kalani Fire Shield Wire.
This season get up to 25% discount on Arpico Foam and Spring mattresses available at Arpico Supercenters.
Now, the Public Utilities Commission today conducted the final public consultation on the proposed electricity tariff revision. The PUCSL is set to announce its final decision regarding the tariff revision on the 17th of this month.
Commencing from 2023, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka authorised the Ceylon Electricity Board to revise electricity tariffs 4 times a year. However, only 2 revisions each were conducted in both 2023 and 2024. Although a tariff revision was due in December 2024, the CEB asserted that the existing tariff rates must continue unchanged for the next 6 months. However, PUCSL on the 17th of December alleged that tariffs could be reduced by 10 to 20%. Subsequently, the Commission conducted public consultations regarding the electricity tariff revision at provincial level. The public consultation of the Western Province was conducted today at the BMICH as the final step of the process.
Yesterday in Parliament, the Energy Minister said government never claimed that they would reduce electricity tariffs. He also said the CEB had recorded losses. However, CEB employees requested bonuses. A company must have made a profit in order to grant bonuses. The CEB and PUCSL both calculate costs. But do these calculations account for fraud and corruption? Reservoirs are full, but there is no reduction in the electricity bill. By getting rid of this deceitful price formula and selling oil at its refining cost as before, we can reduce electricity bills by 35%. On the other hand, the CEB was extremely profitable during the recent past. Considering those profits, we can definitely give people fairer prices.
The Public Utilities Commission is set to announce its final decision regarding the electricity tariff revision on the 17th of this month.
Now, continuing recent efforts, the government's Clean Sri Lanka initiative was in full stride today as well, with several cleanup campaigns being organised and carried out across the island. However, according to EUDB-KB Ahalipala, the director of the Special Investigation Unit attached to the Presidential Secretariat, these cleanup campaigns are only a small part of the much broader Clean Sri Lanka initiative. Speaking to state sector employees, Ahalipala called on the state sector to embrace a more citizen-centric approach.
Several cleanup campaigns were carried out across the country today under the government's Clean Sri Lanka initiative. A cleanup campaign was carried out today along the coast in Magalkanda Beruwala with the participation of the Beruwala Police, the Beruwala Municipal Council and non-government organizations. During the cleanup campaign, plastic bottles and other waste were collected and removed from the coast. A similar cleanup campaign was also carried out by the Koggala Air Force Base along the coast from Ahangama to Habaraduwa. Meanwhile, under the Clean Sri Lanka initiative, areas around the Bandarawala railway station were cleaned by the railway station staff, along with members of the Bandarawala Municipal Council and the Bandarawala Police. Additionally, a cleanup campaign under the government's Clean Sri Lanka initiative was carried out in Kalawana Ratnapura by the Kalawana Police, the Kalawana Pradesha Sabha and the Kalawana Divisional Secretariat. In the meantime, awareness programs on Clean Sri Lanka were held for state officials across several areas. An awareness program on the government's initiative was held yesterday at the Ampara District Secretariat, chaired by EUDB-KB Ahalipala, the director of the Special Investigation Unit attached to the Presidential Secretariat.
As the Clean Sri Lanka initiative marches forward, the state sector's responsibility is to shift to a citizen-centric approach from an institution-centric approach. However, one can witness firsthand the reality of the matter if one visits a government office. Recently, I visited a divisional secretariat for a personal matter. While I was at the office, the staff told me that I am not allowed to meet the relevant officer while another person who was behind me skipped the queue. This particular divisional secretariat's AO was my classmate. Once I told him of the matter, my friend informed the staff of the divisional secretariat who I was. Instantly, the staff became very cordial and promptly addressed my concern. My first interaction with them is what an ordinary citizen faces when he or she visits the same office. They treated me cordially later on because of my designation. Whenever one goes to any government office, their first attempt is to find a friend who works there. That is because it is impossible to get anything done as an ordinary citizen. The operations of government officers pushes people to exhaustion. That is why we always say that this program must be citizen friendly. Waste management is only a minor part of this Clean Sri Lanka initiative.
Meanwhile, in Parliament today, Chief Government Whip Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa refuted claims that 7 million rupees had been incurred for the inauguration ceremony of the Clean Sri Lanka initiative. The minister made this assertion in response to claims by the New Democratic Front parliamentarian Chamara Sampath Dasanayaka.
In Parliament yesterday, MP Chamara Sampath Dasanayaka of the New Democratic Front asserted that 7 million rupees were spent on the inauguration ceremony of the government's Clean Sri Lanka initiative without following a proper tender procedure.
7 million rupees were incurred for the inauguration ceremony of the Clean Sri Lanka initiative held at the Presidential Secretariat without following a proper tender procedure. If the President's office can provide evidence to the contrary, I will resign from Parliament immediately.
Meanwhile, during today's parliamentary session, Chief Government Whip Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa responded to MP Dasanayaka's claim.
7 million rupees were not spent on the inauguration ceremony. Only 900,000 rupees worth of expenses were approved and those payments are yet to be settled. Therefore, government has not spent a cent more than 900,000 rupees for the inauguration ceremony of the Clean Sri Lanka program, nor do we intend to do so. This supposed expenditure report is a fabrication. Although it is not required for the member to resign over his statement, it is nonetheless false.
Welcome back. Now in more local news, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, called on Speaker of Parliament Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne at the parliamentary premises recently. High Commissioner Santosh Jha reaffirmed the strong bilateral relationship between India and Sri Lanka and went on to invite Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne to undertake an official visit to India. High Commissioner Jha emphasized the importance of fostering interparliamentary collaboration. He also revealed India's plans to support Sri Lanka's parliament through training and capacity building programs. High Commissioner Jha also noted India's expectations in reviving the Sri Lanka-India Parliamentary Friendship Association in the 10th Parliament. The Indian envoy also stressed the importance of bolstering close relations between female representatives of the two nations. Speaker of Parliament Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne expressed gratitude for India's continuous support to Sri Lanka across various sectors. Now, High Court Judge Ranga Disanayake was appointed the new Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption with effect from today. The relevant appointment was made by President Andru Disanayake. High Court Judge Ranga Disanayake takes over the reins from High Court Judge W.K.D. Wijeratne, who resigned from his position on the 7th of October last year. Following High Court Judge Wijeratne's resignation, M.R.Y.K. Udavela was temporarily appointed to fulfill the duties of the Director General from the 10th of October 2024 until the appointment of a permanent successor. During her tenure, Udavela prepared charges under 62 case files and completed related tasks under the supervision of the Commission members. The Bribery Commission noted that this is an exceptional performance to have been completed in a limited time frame. Now in your political news, new General Secretary of the United National Party, Thalatha Athukorle, took office today. Addressing the media later on, Athukorle extended an invitation to members of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya to join the UNP in view of securing victory in the upcoming provincial council election.
Newly appointed General Secretary of the United National Party, Thalatha Athukorle, officially took office at the party headquarters in Sirikota this morning.
ලකුණ යටතේ එන පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණයේදී එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයත් එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණත් අනෙකුත් සියලු දේශපාලන පක්ෂයත් එකට එකතු වෙලා සමගියෙන් ඉදිරියට යන ගමනක් සඳහා ආරම්භ වන වර්ෂයක්. එතකොට මේ වර්ෂයේ මම හිතනවා අපේ මහලේකම්තුමියගේ වැඩබාර ගැනීම ඉතා වැදගත්.
මේ තනතුර මට අභියෝගයක්. මොකද
This position is a challenge for me and I'm keen on accepting that challenge. Our leader Ranil Wickramasinghe's vision is to unite the divided party with the aim of ensuring victory in order to serve the people of this country. I look forward to making that vision a reality.
එතුමාගේ පූර්ණ ආශිර්වාද තුන ඒ කටයුත්ත තමයි මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ.
සංවිධාන බලවේගී දැන් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉවත් වුණේ මේ කණ්ඩායම් දෙකම එකට ඉන්න ඕනේ. බෙදිලා බෙදුනොත් එහෙම පරාදිනවා. දැන් ඒක වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ කණ්ඩායම් දෙක එකතු කරලා කොහොමද සාකච්ඡා වෙන්නේ?
මම ඒ කටයුත්ත අතාරින්නේ නැහැ.
I will not give up. The SJB is not a different party. Every member of the SJB was once a member of the UNP. We extended an invitation to members of the SJB to join us as directed by UNP leader Ranil Wickramasinghe. If he objects to such unification, he would have not appointed me to this position.
And now here's a look at some thoughts shared in the political arena today.
ඉතර විපක්ෂයක අවශ්‍යතාවය අද දැඩි ලෙස පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ දැනෙනවා. මේ දින 100 ඇතුළත රජය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන ක්‍රමවේදයේ බලපුවාම තාම අත්නෝමතික හිතුවක්කා විදියට තමයි මේ දින 100 තුල ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
සත්‍යපක්ෂ සමගිය සාකච්ඡා කොහොමද? එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයයි අපි එකතු වෙන්න ඕන. අපිත් මතය ඒක තමයි. අපි එකතු වෙනවා. කලබල වෙන්න එපා. අපි හරි වෙලාවට එකතු වෙන්න.
ඔබතුමාලට උදව් කරපු ව්‍යාපාරිකයෙක් ඇවිල්ලා පක්ෂ කාර්යාලයට කෑ ගහලා ගියා කියන ඇත්තද මේක?
මෙහෙම නේද? മന്ത്രി දුර පහක් හම්බුණා. මේ മന്ത്രി දුර පහ බෙදන්න ගියාම ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් එනවා. ඕන තරම් එක කෙනා ඇවිල්ලා දොස් කියනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන් මට മന്ത്രി දුර ඕනේ මට മന്ത്രി දුර ඕනේ කියලා. හැබැයි හැම කෙනාට മന്ത്രി දුර දෙන්න බෑනේ. නිසා മന്ത്രി දුර දෙන්න බැරුව ගියාම ඒ ඇයට ප්‍රශ්නයක් මතුවෙනවා. ඒක 아무තු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. හැබැයි ඒ කියන විදිහට මහලු කොට කෑ ගහලා ගිහලා එකක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක අහලා යන්න ඇති දොස් කියලා යන්න.
බොරු ප්‍රචාරය කරන කාලවලදී අපි නිකන් යක්කුවාගේ තමයි දැක්කේ මිනිස්සු. බැරිකමයි නැතිකමයි විනාශ කරා කියන එක තමයි ජනගත කරේ. ඉතින් ඒක ප්‍රතිඵල හැටියට තමයි ඔය ජයග්‍රහණය ගොනු ලැබුවේ. 3න් 2ක් තියෙනවා කියලා පම්පෝරි ගහලා රටක් පාලනය කරන්න බෑ. ඔය 3න් 2 බලයක් තියලා ඔළුව උදුමා ගත්තම වැටිල්ල ඉතා ඉක්මන්.
මේ රටක් විදියට ගත්තාම මේ ලොකු කතා කිව්වට බොහොම පුංචි වැඩ කරමින් ඉන්නේ. ජනමාධ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රය රජයේ ඇමතිවරයා විශාල බලපෑමක් විදිහට අර ගැනීම මම හිතන්නේ එච්චර සුදුසු එකක් නෙමෙයි. සමහර දවස්වල පත්තරේ නම කියලාම අරුණ පත්තරේට මෙහෙමයි කියලා. ඊළඟට පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ගියාම channel වල නම කියලා. දැන් මෙහෙම කලබලයට පත් වෙලා ප්‍රතිචාර දක්වන ගතියකට ආණ්ඩුව ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මේ මාධ්‍යත් එක්ක රණ්ඩු වෙන්න ගියොත් එහෙම ආණ්ඩුවකට යන්න බෑ.
The GEM Sri Lanka 2025 Gem and Jewelry Exhibition, organized by the Chinese Fort Gem and Jewelry Traders Association, concluded today after 3 days in Benthoda. The exhibition saw the attendance of leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa and leader of the Sarvajana Balaya MP Dilith Jayavira.
GEM Sri Lanka 2025, the Gem and Jewelry Exhibition was inaugurated in Benthoda on the 8th of January by President Anura Dissanayake. Organized annually by the Chinese Fort Gem and Jewelry Traders Association, the exhibition was open to the public for 3 days from the 8th of January until today. Leader of the Sarvajana Balaya MP Dilith Jayavira attended the event today.
අපි ඔක්කොම තේරුම් ගන්නට ඕන දේශීය වශයෙන් මේ සපයා ගන්නා ලද මෙම මැණික් සහ
We must understand that both locally sourced and imported gems which undergo value addition are a significant source of wealth for the country. It is only by realizing this fact that a Sri Lanka imbibed with entrepreneurship can be created. Today, I was emboldened by the potential of our country which I witnessed when visiting this exhibition. Every stall had youth participation, which is also heartening. Government should do its utmost to develop the gem and jewellery industry and profit from this rare resource. We cannot make this industry internationally competitive if we approach it from a narrow perspective.
Yesterday, the exhibition saw the attendance of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. We can develop this industry by removing the VAT and social security levy and granting a $200 package for a parcel of gems and jewellery. Similarly, instead of taxing the net profit, taxes should focus on turnover. Additionally, retail of gems and jewellery can be done online. It is time to grant the maximum possible concessions to the gem and jewellery industry to uplift it as an export-oriented industry.
A former Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia, Udayanga Veeratunga, has been remanded until the 17th of January after being produced before the Nugegoda Magistrates Court over allegedly assaulting his neighbour. The former diplomat was arrested by the Mirihana police today. The 66-year-old resident of Talapat Pittiya, who was assaulted by former Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia, Udayanga Veeratunga, was admitted to the Sri Jayawardhanapura hospital and is currently receiving treatment for injuries. The incident in question had taken place yesterday during an argument over the alleged breaking of a boundary wall by the ex-diplomat's neighbour. According to reports, Veeratunga had attacked his neighbour with a plastic pipe, resulting in injuries to his face, including a broken nose. The Mirihana police have launched an investigation into the incident. Welcome back. Now in your business news, the Central Verification Division of the Board of Investment of Sri Lanka is set to digitize several functions, including issuing gate passes, the collection of import and export fees, and the collection of verification fees starting from today. An export verification management system with digitized gate passes and QR codes is also set to be launched. This system is expected to allow electronic payment facilities, 24-hour full-time service, transparency, reduction of human resources and cost savings. The issuance of digital gate permits commenced today as the initial step of the program. Digitization of the BOI Invest experience will attract more foreign direct investments and will also be a good launching pad for attracting much-needed digital FDIs to the country. The Board of Investment of Sri Lanka expects this program to provide an efficient service with minimal human intervention, eliminating the need for paper and enhancing transparency of the system. That's all the news we have for you tonight. For further updates, stay in touch with Ada Derana, the nation's most trusted news source. Thank you. Have a great night.